Welcome back to another episode of the Film Hackers Talk Show, your one-stop center for all things film in Uganda. My name is Maritza. I am your host. We are here at Net Studios, and this is brought to you by Incredible Media. Now, we've had some very interesting people in these seats, and most of them are not used to being on this side of the camera. So let's keep that going. I like things to be constant, Sicho. And today we have some of the most important shapers of the wedding and events photography and videography industry in Uganda. They have a wealth of experience, and they're not here to teach per se, but I would advise you to pick up your notebook. I would advise you to keep your ear as close as possible and take note, because you will learn a lot as a client and as someone who is a stakeholder in the business of photography and videography. Let's get into it. On my right side, weighing many years of experience, all the way from Makula Pictures, professional photographers and cinematographers, and they specialize in wedding photography and film. If you're on social media, you have definitely witnessed the talent that has come from Makula Pictures. I am very excited to welcome Mwami Jeffery Ssemakula.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for coming.
I'm shy, but yeah.
We shall find out. And to the left corner, weighing 15 years of experience, and are the CEO of Paramount Images Studio. Welcome with me, Mr. James Lubinga.
Thank you. Actually, I have 22 years of experience.
22. Have you added the teaching experience or
No.
of photography?
Of photography.
That is wonderful.
From the time of film.
Thank you for being here. I thought, you would bring a crew and, take over these people. Sometimes professionals. Professionals are about that. And let's talk about it, because we are going to talk about the professional side of videography and photography for events in Uganda. Let's start from the opportunities that have presented themselves over the years, and even fostering you into the big men, as Ugandans say, that you have become in the industry. What is it like, or how have these events presented more opportunities for you as individuals in the business of photography and videography? Let's start with you, Mr. Lubinga.
Thank you so much. Again, James Lubinga is my name. I'm a wedding photographer, a teacher by profession, a farmer, a father, and so many other things. Now, the wedding industry has presented many opportunities, both economic and social. When we're doing weddings, we meet so many people. So it's not just about that money they give us, but the person we find on the wedding. They are able to teach us so many things concerning both business and life. And we're able to grow. Here, when you're doing weddings, you find other service providers. You find service providers who are better than you, okay? Who are running million-dollar businesses. Decorators. You find the phenoms of this world.
Yes.
And you're on the same wedding. And you're like, how did they make it to that point? So you also go back and start learning, okay? And striving to see that you do something to the level that film is doing. Wedding is a networking event.
True. Yeah.
Okay? You go to a wedding of over 300, 500 people. This client is exposing you to over 500 connections. And those people also have connections. Okay? So these people are from all walks of life.
Yeah.
Of course, you find the teachers, you find the business people, you find men, policemen, lawyers, and all that. Now, as we are working, we're able to tap into their networks and be able to evolve. It is actually a very big conversation when it comes to weddings and how they have helped us grow and enter into other areas and have other streams of income. Yeah, maybe I can first leave it there and then take it to Jeff.
I feel like you've said more what it's about. I like that he says the continuous learning, even from people that are not in the same industry as us.
Yeah.
Then the meetings with, he mentions Fenon, And when you're a photographer on a smaller scale and you're working with a structured entity like Phenon, there's a lot to learn, first of all, from the structure and how he does business and how he connects with money. And then there's a lot to learn there. But then also, James again mentions the clients are the people that we meet. A photographer, a wedding photographer like this, James, has met probably people from all walks of life. Yeah, so it is for him or myself to see how I turn that for my learning or for my growth. Yeah, we've seen photographers diversify, do other businesses like he mentioned, because of connections they got from these weddings. Yeah, it's good that he mentions those things, and I don't think I have anything to add to that.
It's really a platform, like a stage. So I'm a performer. So for me, every time I'm on a stage, I've met half of my next clients So it's really just free marketing. And I like the idea that that's actually what propels you to get better, because your demand by default demands it.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the next conversation. There's many considerations that go into booking a photographer for us as the clients, because we want one thing, bandabi. And when they see me, it has to be groundbreaking. You know, I want comments, I want compliments. And then now you add a very emotional event like a wedding. So the stakes are much higher. So of course, in picking the wedding photographer, us as clients, we really just want to look at what you've done, and that's what we're going to go based off of. So what are some of those considerations that, you know, we take into consideration, but you take into consideration for us as people we plan to hire? Let's start with you, Jeff.
First of all, I want to say Uganda has very good talent.
Yeah.
There are many. Sometimes I'm on my Instagram, I'm scrolling, and there's this Instagram suggesting a page that you didn't know or you didn't follow. And someone has taken very nice wedding pictures, and you don't know who they are. Yeah, they're not the big names. Yeah, and you're like, oh wow. And it takes me back to our Kampala client is very lucky that there's a big pool to pick from. Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
It's a good thing if you're intentional and know what you want.
Exactly.
Because you see, there were many photographers and all different. Yeah. So I think the client first has to know what they want out of the wedding. So let's say I want someone shoots documentary like. Yeah. There's many like that. Let's say I want someone, there are different styles of photography, and all of us have learned to master our different styles. We've had issues where clients will come and they like James's style, Paramount style, but someone told them to use Makula. Yeah, and it's going to be a trick for me to satisfy them, because they were not my client in the first place. They don't want my work. Probably Metron told them they think our work is good.
And yet their desire will be fulfilled.
By
so
them.
Let me ask,
as a client,
do you hand over? Do you call James and say, so there's a client here that fits you, or you keep the client?
We learn that very late. You learn when it's a week or a month event, or when you actually shoot and deliver, then someone is asking you, why didn't you shoot like James?
Yes.
Or towards the wedding, and someone is sending you inspiration and sending Paramount's pictures.
Yes.
Now, it's tricky there. You don't know what to do. However, if this client was intentional in choosing their vendor, they looked around and saw all these guys and what they do. They looked at Paramount and they saw what they liked about Paramount. They looked at other brands and saw what they liked about other brands. And they can make a decision really that is for them. Yeah. And yeah, I think just do research and be intentional in choosing who you get.
I want you to tap into a little bit about Tabazinga's wedding, if that's okay. Because for an event like that, you're not just shooting for the couple. Even us, we are stakeholders.
Yes, yes.
You know what I mean? There are so many demanding audiences for a situation like that. So if someone finds themselves in that situation, what are those considerations you're going to take if the audience is more than you as the bride and groom?
For the past 20 years, I've been in business. It took me a lot of time to learn that people buy into people and not professions. Before I thought it is all about putting my work there, charging little money, you know. But later on I realized it is the words people talk about us out when we're not in the room that people will consider to choose us. So, as a photographer, it is one thing to produce good work, but again, it's another thing to have a good name outside there. So, most of the people look at those things that we do when no one is watching, and that is integrity. Late coming or coming early, depending on which side you're looking at. How would you talk to the client? How do you deliver? How would you behave after receiving money? Do you become rude? Or does the tone change? Yeah? What happens on the wedding day? What happens after? How is your team behaving? What about when you're not with a camera? Because clients are seeing you driving, walking around, you know, you are in the public. Okay. So for me, other than good work, your image is what some people buy into. So, like as you said for the Chabazinga, I know they have to look at so many factors which go beyond just the pictures you're going to provide. Are you able to handle this big event? Will you be able to have even the backup? Will you be able to deliver? Will you behave professionally? Yeah? How will you be able to handle these people around the Chabazinga? Yeah? Are you going to reach there and then start again looking at other guests and then just focus on those? You know, there are so many things. So there's a lot of emotional intelligence involved when it comes to high-end clients. Now, in summary, I can say that other than price, because it is a very important thing when people are booking. Budget. Good work, that is a must. The quality of work. Work has to be good. So you have the good work, then they can afford you. Now, the other last part is, who is that guy? Now, the moment we work on the who, then we can now go ahead and know whether the clients will book us or not. And that's the main thing to me that will separate me from the other person. And that's what I always work on to see that I improve.
That's a very nice at least checklist, right? And you've talked a bit about style and how you guys have different style. And I appreciate that because as we watch the world on our smartphones, we discover so many styles of expression. For our wedding, for our events, we want to tell our stories in a particular way. So I want us to talk about the clients, because clients for us, when we're picking, like you said, first budget, then also integrity. How do they communicate, you know? Someone, you'd send them a message, they reply 2 weeks later, surely I've moved on. So small things like that. I want us to talk about who an ideal client is, because us as clients, we also have our demands, which we've already talked about a bit. But you as the creators of these stories, who's that client that you look at and you're like, I am honored to produce this work for you? Let's start with you, Mr.
To me, an ideal client is that client, first of all, I can communicate with easily, because the first thing is communication. If I cannot talk to the client, and the client just sends the money and waits for me to go and execute on the wedding day, chances are high so many things will go wrong. So communication is a very important thing. Number two, the client who understands what I do. But again, it goes back to the other part of listening, because before, clients used to walk in. Let us look at your album before social media. Okay, today social media is our album.
Yeah.
Before we had physical albums, the client walks in, looks at the albums. You know, you had a collection of your best pictures there, and okay, they buy. Okay. Today, by the time a client comes to you, at least they have seen your work or someone has recommended them. Now, the next thing is, can you be able to work with that client? Okay? So we go ahead and build a rapport with the client early enough. We have templates. We have questionnaires we always send to these clients. We engage them so that we see whether these clients will be able to work with us in harmony. First of all, the contract. You have to send the client a contract.
Okay.
Now, when you send this contract and the client reads it, they will understand how you work. Okay? And some of the things they think they will do, they won't be able to do them. And even you, it protects you because you won't be able to do the things you're supposed to do.
Manyang.
Yeah, manyang. Because the contract protects you and protects the client.
Yeah.
For me, actually, there are clients who have sent me their contracts to sign.
Interesting.
And I like that.
Yeah.
Okay? Of course, ideally, I'm the service provider, I should provide a contract. Okay? But when the client sends me the contract to sign, I read through and I endeavor to see that I fulfill all those things, as long as they don't violate the way I work.
Yes.
Okay? So that helps me a lot to understand that, because in most cases they are the ones who violate what we have agreed upon.
We know we have bad manners. But how do you deal with the ones who don't want to do homework? For example, the questionnaire. I have also dealt with situations like that. You're trying to get to know the client and they are not forthcoming, or they don't want to fill the questionnaire, you have to chase them. Do situations like that end up to no working contract?
No, there are many ways of interviewing. You know, like I said, emotional intelligence is very important here.
Yeah.
Not everyone is for the questionnaire. Sometimes the questionnaire can come in when you're doing a phone call and you ask them how they are, how the things are going, if there's anyone you can engage to give you more information. You know, there are very many ways of engaging a client. Okay, sometimes we tell them that we need to meet them in a meeting or a service provider's meeting. Okay, or have a pre-wedding session.
Yes.
Because when you organize a pre-wedding session and they show up, you get to understand them more. After those 3 hours, you get to know more about the client. You know, in data collection, you don't not stick to one format.
Yes.
Okay? After understand this is a client who doesn't want these formal things, like we've done, like most of the Basos. For them, they're like, how much money do you want? I gave you your money. Okay? You just come on this day and work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, you need to learn the client. That's why if a client just sends you money without engaging them, chances are high that again you have to work backwards and learn more. Otherwise, on the wedding day, things may not be good.
I can imagine. What about you, your ideal client?
My ideal client is a client who can't wait for us to shoot their wedding.
You want formal?
No. I enjoy it when I'm shooting someone who wants me to shoot them. Yeah, I've had stories like that when you meet a client and they tell you, oh, by the way, before this guy popped the question, I knew you were shooting our wedding.
Wow.
And that warms my heart. Yeah. So when you're shooting people like that, it's beautiful because one, you know, they'll be respectful, they'll listen to you. I rant about listening to a photographer a lot on Twitter because it's very important. You know, even many times the vibe will be good, you'll flow well. So my ideal client for me is a person who loves what we do and would love to work with us and is respectful and they're kind. I love kind clients. Of course, they have money because they're able to afford us. But the other stuff...
No pro bono? That season passed.
We intend to do that sometime.
would be lovely.
We intend to do that. James has done some pro bono work. We have done some pro bono work. Yeah, we actually have.
Lovely.
We have not made noise about it though, but we have done some pro bono work. I would rather pro bono than discount.
Yeah, I think I understand that.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, for me, just be a kind human being, be respectful, and it will be nice to shoot you.
I like that. Sometimes in making those decisions of the ideal client, does the size of the event come into consideration? Does that ever determine your decision to do a job or not?
The biggest number we've shot is what? Was it 2,000 or something? But that will go into other things like you have to add number of photographers on set. The other things are technical, where 2 cameras would do for 150 people. Then with those number of people, there have to be more cameras. That's technical stuff.
Does it affect decision making?
Yeah, it will affect the price mostly, but also for us, I mentioned energy. Yeah, you have 2,000 people, but it's you we are meeting, and you've told us what we expect. James mentioned contracts earlier. We both know what is expected out of it. If we feel you are the right fit for us and you've paid your money, we'll come and work. There are cases where we think you're not the right fit for us, and we've learned to say no, and it's beautiful. I don't know about James.
The answer is yes and no. No, sometimes when it comes to small weddings, okay, someone has 150 or 50 people and wants to pay 1 million. That is 500K for photography and 500K for video, because it's a small wedding.
Yes,
really. Why should I invest in a lot? But as photographers, we have a starting price because our overheads are, we have cameras, we have the labor,
maintenance,
insurance, and so many things. Okay, that you find out that maybe for me to show up, the minimum, like the lowest, should be 4.5 million. For a small thing like maybe a kuchala, because the photographers have to be paid. Okay. Secondly, sometimes the events are small, but the activities and the way they are spread, it's a challenge. That you have church here, there's a cocktail there, then you go the other side, and you're working more than the person having 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Then, for the years, we've seen events with over, like I can give you an example of the Chabazinga's wedding. We had a group going to pick the Chabazing in the morning to cover him as he was coming from his home. And then another group for the Inebantu. But remember, we had the church area. Arrivals were there and all that. Okay? And then at the reception, a lot was going on.
Set up
and all
media.
That. Yes. So you had to have a team of a minimum of 15 people.
Yeah.
Now, we have events where we have live feed and streaming. Okay? Okay, it is you to suggest to the client. Sometimes clients come and they think you are supposed to provide all those. Okay?
Interesting.
2,000 people, at least you need screens.
Yeah.
You need live feed. You have to suggest that to the client.
Yeah.
Secondly, if I'm to shoot video, in most cases when you're watching your video, you need to see your people. But if I come with only 2 cameras, because I have a script that the cameras are supposed to be 2, it means that so many people won't be covered.
Yeah.
Okay? I'll maybe concentrate on a few people, the speeches and all that.
Yeah.
That means you have, like Jeff said, you have to add in more so that you have that extensive coverage. And sometimes when the video ends up being longer, and then you have more pictures taken. Yeah? So are you going to just give the client 100 pictures? Again, you need to give the client more soft copies so that they can be able to see those people. So sometimes, again, the client has to pay more money because the numbers are... Like this weekend, I think I'm doing a wedding of it's an introduction of about 3,000 people. It is somewhere in the north.
That is a big number. I need to ask, have you been able to, like you said, going to the north, leaving Kampala, and I know that's a dream. My brother is a photographer, so for him leaving the city to do work is a big deal. So have you been able to spread your wings much further out of what the city and the country has to offer. All the best of luck in the north. I'm already excited for that wedding, like I'm invited. But have you been able to have those experiences where you actually get to work with people from outside, entangle with experiences at events that you probably have not even seen here? You know, different cultures, of course, will expose you. So what has that experience been like outside Uganda, and some of the benefits of that for you as the head of your company or as a photographer, you know, constantly expanding your talent? Let's start with you, Jeff.
I'm going to take it back to James. Why? James has done more destination weddings than we have. And
but it's more than destination weddings.
You mentioned cultures and how the other guys, I have intentionally made it. It's actually in our budget, the year education budget. I either do a workshop or something. If I'm not buying a class from someone, you know, I'm doing a workshop. And the reasons for that is to tap into the knowledge of the other guys. In as much as there's a lot of inspiration from here, from within, it would be nice to know what the Nigerians think about events, how they shoot, how they handle, how they deal with clients and all that. And I've been intentional with doing that. And it has helped the brand. You pick a few things from Emmanuel Eleke and you're putting them in your business. And then you're sometimes emailing or texting with these guys, and then there's a lot that you're learning. The brand has moved a bit.
I love to hear that, because even just from watching Nigerian movies, the logistics of a Nigerian wedding are times 10 of what we experience here. So I think, so do you share the workshops after you've taken the workshop? Do you now spread the knowledge here amongst your peers? And
among the people that are close to us, yes. I mentioned that I'd gone for it, and people reached out and would share, and you share contacts if people ask.
I appreciate that.
And also we intend to, for example, we've talked, James and I have talked, we intend to have a workshop here.
Nice.
Sometime this year. We don't know yet, but sometime this year. Again, to make sure for the industry grows. So it's not just us having the knowledge that we have probably acquired, and for it to spread out.
So we are depending on you to spread your wings for us. Over to you.
The tradition here in Uganda is that photographers know that you start a company, you look for a good place where you think you get clients. Maybe a building, you know, you get your Loom Street, you get your car building, put there, maybe it's on the first floor. Put an office, then you get a billboard or something like that, social media page, you're done.
Sabura.
And you've been in your comfort zone. Targeting, kwanjula kuinjila kuchala, wedding.
Around there where we buy our clothes.
Walk-ins, what's the best location? Serena, where? But now the world is shrinking, and sometimes we need to move out of our comfort zone. When I started doing Eritrean weddings and Indian weddings, there's a lot actually I learned that has helped in my business. First of all, the challenges. You face working with another culture. Language and all. Secondly, the way they see you working, the value attached to the event. Guys are flying from maybe Canada, USA, coming to Uganda to do a wedding, and they are booking you. Do you see it as an opportunity, or you're just seeing it as another wedding? Okay? Then the money they give you, the way they push you to work, because most of them, the expectations are so high. Now, after learning from them, the knowledge that knowledge I've been able to apply it, and then use it when working on Ugandans. And I've seen that it is partly working. And then the other part is of going outside the country. I've tried it. I've done weddings in Kenya. I've done Zanzibar. Last year we did a wedding in Belgium. I've done some work in Dubai and other work for Eritreans outside the country. What I've learned, first of all, acquisition of knowledge. When you go there, you find guys who are just collaborating, they're not competing. Okay? They show you that the bread is too big. And they're not just in weddings. There's a lot commercial photography, baby. You know, some specialize. Someone is just photographing rings.
Yes, I've seen that.
Jewelry and all that. Others just interiors of cars. Others lights. So you come back and you're like, okay, it's not just about this, but there are so many other things you have to look at. Or if I'm specializing in this area, how better can I make it the best? How can I make it the best so that I can get the best out of it? And of course, the other part is focus also looking at business outside Uganda. Okay?
The operations of
yes, we are Ugandans, but we are supposed to get business from all countries.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's not a must that we are only supposed to do Kwanjula and Kuhinjilas. Yeah, we need to go to other countries and penetrate those markets. And what does that mean? Branding.
Yes.
Yeah. Our marketing budgets have to be increased. Yeah. Building our personal image and all that. Yeah. To see that by the time someone takes you to the Caribbean or to Haiti to shoot a wedding, really there's that reason why they leave that person in that area to bring you there. And for me, I think that is the next step. How we do brand ourselves for the international market.
I know, especially because weddings are intimate, you know, your family is going to be there, your people. I know some clients can be like, I see you posting your clients on Facebook and Twitter. Does that mean if I hire you, you're going to also put me on blast? I'm a private person. And I know those situations come up a lot. So how do you, I don't even want to use the word avoid, how do you circumvent situations where clients actually don't want to be posted, and yet possibly it could be maybe a different niche of work that you've done that you might need to showcase, or a situation where surely this client should give you permission, but they're not. So how do you circumvent those situations to still brand yourself and put yourself out there as a photographer and videographer?
The wedding we did, I think 2022 or something. Yeah. I think that the most beautiful pictures we've taken. Wow. They are not anywhere. So when we're starting out, things like that used to be painful. But now you growing in the business and growing with people and meeting these people, you get to know that people are different. You get to know the kinds of clients that you're shooting. And the time that you spend from the bookings to the wedding, you know these people. You know who they are and what they are about. It makes it easy for you to take in when they say no. Okay. Yeah?
It's like a friend saying no.
You get it.
It's not too personal.
Yeah? So, yeah, someone says they don't want to be posted. It's painful, but we just don't post them. Yeah? Because then they also are appreciating that you're respecting their opinion. We would, however, prefer that they allow us. Yeah? But yeah, it's sometimes painful, but
it is what it
is. What it is.
Yeah, actually on my side, I realize we need to study more about this wedding business.
Yeah?
Yeah, it is not what we think it is.
Explain.
People marry for many reasons.
True.
Some people are remarrying. Other people are moving from one marriage maybe to another. Other people are political figures. They don't want you to be there to show their private life. Others are lawyers, they are judges. You know, you're posting their pictures when they're kissing, doing what, especially when it comes to video, because video will show everything. Yeah? Or they are guests, some guests. People don't want to go to wedding because they will be put in the public. Okay? Sometimes the couple, they're okay with it, but again, the guests are like, yes, I attended your wedding, but I didn't sign anywhere that I should be on social media. Okay? So, as photographers, we need to understand that it's not just all about getting that visibility, but also satisfying a client is one thing. Okay? Secondly, this business is more of a referral kind of business. it's not just about advertising it. You can advertise, get the followers, get the likes, the comments, but you won't get the work until someone endorses you. Yeah. Most of those people who tell us not to post, they bring a lot of work.
I know.
They bring
many like them.
Yes.
I mean, it's a blessing. Yeah, but if they're like them.
It's James last posted, I don't know, not May, I don't know.
Like a year and a half ago.
The other year. But he's working.
Every weekend.
The number of weddings he does in a year and the number of posts he makes a year, you see that the math doesn't math.
Isn't that seniority privilege?
Maybe. We can't say that because actually I've been learning a lot from my neighbor, Ten or GlobeTech is there. I think I've taken so many years without seeing him posting anything. But you'll find him doing high-end events, okay? Because I think there are levels of advertising. Maybe when you're starting, you need to be everywhere, okay? As you get those clients, they come in, then now you have to penetrate the networks, okay? And then it will be the people to market you. Than you to struggle putting them on social media. Yeah.
Do you ever want to recreate those pictures that you haven't been able to post of clients? If, for example, it's a setting that, is very unique, a concept that's unique, but you don't have permission to post that couple particularly. Would you take into consideration to recreate that maybe for marketing purposes or branding purposes so people know that this is a venture that Makula can do or that Paramount can do?
That's a good one. It can work for some people. Of course, you can have a academic wedding, have shorts and all that. But in most cases, people would like to see your weddings. And some people give you work because you shot the other guy or the other lady. Oh, you are the guy who shot so and so. Okay? Because they recommend. That one can work if people are testing your ability to do or to provide good work. Okay? That you organize like a wedding or you get models, take them pictures, post them, then they see the lighting, they see the color and all that. But again, like you said, photographers are different levels. Maybe someone who's starting out and has no content, that can work well for them. Yeah.
I like that. I want us to stick on the conversation of branding because especially now with you, when people address you as Mwami Ssemakula, they're addressing your entity as well. So do you find conflict, actually not do you find conflict, what are the dynamics like the individual Jeff, the individual James, you are the face of the brand, but then the brand also has its life. So individual versus company, how do you balance that to a point where Paramount is able to work without the client expecting James to show up every time, or other situations where an individual and the company are tied together? How does that work in your world as two senior privileged people?
He's pushing it to me.
Because I feel like you suffer it the most.
Well, I also used to do one event. Yeah, I'd enjoy that because it would give me, and it didn't help that I didn't get my name from the company name from my name. It's a different Luganda word. But then when someone would hear Ssemakula and Makula, it became, and it was a trick to try to tell people, oh, by the way, this is the company, this is me. As the company grew, the team grew. Yeah, we have about 4 photographers who take amazing pictures. We've learned our style. Yeah, if I showed you a page now, you might select pictures, and I'll tell you out of the 7 you've selected, I personally shot 2 weddings. Yeah,
and it's the same.
And they're the same. Then people you meet and they'll be like, "Oh my God, I loved your wedding. I loved your pictures. I loved you." I'm like, "Yeah, but I didn't shoot my wedding. Someone from our team shot my wedding." Yeah. So it was a trick earlier trying to tell people, oh, by the way, Martin is going to come and shoot your wedding. It doesn't have to be me, and you have amazing stuff. But because they have seen you, now I'm doing this interview. People probably didn't know the face. Now they know the face. So we have this thing when a client reaches out. We'll tell you, go to our Instagram, send us about 10 pictures that you think you like.
Okay.
Now, when you send us those pictures, we want to know your style and who you like, and what kind of person is best suited to shoot you. Because on our page, the pictures have been taken by me. There are some that have been taken by other people. Yeah. So when you send us 10 pictures, we'll see out of the 7, if I have shot 7 out of the, I'll be the one to shoot your wedding. If Jumba has shot 7 out of the, Jumba will be the one to, So we ask you to do that so we know who you need, Because there are events that have happened and I went to shoot and I was struggling and I wasn't in my element. Surely it should have been Eric or Jumba to shoot this event, but then you're the one who is there, or you're the one who client said, I want Jeff. By the way, Jeff has to come.
Actually, me, I look at 2 areas, for the photographer and then for the client. Of course, clients very much want to know who will shoot their wedding. They want the owner of the company to be there. They are more comfortable to have you there. That should be the ideal. But again, we have the business part of it. Now I'm talking as a photographer. Depending, sometimes based on how much we charge and our costs and what we expect at the end of the day. You can't be the only guy in the company doing one wedding every weekend. Okay? You have to build a team.
You can if you're charging
if you're charging $40,000, okay? Yeah, but if you're charging that car 2, 4, 5 million, and at the end of the year, you can't see the money. Cameras expensive and everything. And sometimes people will tell you, because we go to weddings where decorators are in hundreds of millions, and for you are like 6 million, okay? And, and you are buying fuel from the same petrol stations, sugar, same cost, almost everything, okay? And you need at least a minimum of 1 or 2 weddings. That is if you've trained your team well to be able to have the company survive, okay? Secondly, you need to, you don't need to outlive the company. The company should exist even if you go, even if you die or whatever happens, okay? You know, in Uganda, we die with our companies.
That's not right.
Okay, Lubinga photographer, when Lubinga disappears, everything goes, okay? Because the question is always, can your company exist for just 2 weeks when you're not there? What about a month? What about a year? That you're completely not there and the company is there. Can it exist? If the answer is no, then sometimes it is important to brand for the company and not just the individual. The moment they don't see the individual on site, and you say maybe it is the Ssemakula photography. What is the Ssemakula now you're talking about? Some people ask that, okay? Yeah. But if you're like, okay, it's Paramount and the Paramount team is here, and sometimes clients are supposed to be informed that this is the team which is going to work. If
even
possible,
with the shots, I
if possible, send a list. They get to know, and then it is a management thing. As long as they believe in the system, they will work with the company. Though you go to KFC, I don't need to know the manager. I don't need to know the owner. I just eat the what?
The chicken.
The chicken, yes.
I don't think any of us have been Kentucky yet.
Yes, even the owner of Shell, we don't know. We just take the fuel.
One of the most interesting things in the season of media, because this is really media, is technology advancement. From how we use social media, from even the quality of the cameras, the software that is available, from editing to storage. Generally, and they are continuing to change. Now we have AI entering the chat, and I want to hear the effect that has had on not just promoting photography in Ugandans for Ugandans, but also you as a company owner. You know, you have to buy this equipment. You have to keep up with the times. You know, no one wants to be left behind, especially if we're trying to make money. What has that been like for you in this season of advancements? What are the experiences?
I'll talk about the challenges and the opportunities, but of course the opportunities are more. The first thing you have to look at when you're entering the photography industry, some education is important. Formal education, that's the first thing. You must be a lifelong learner. If you're a lifelong learner, you move with the times. I can say I'm a lifelong learner because I shot film in 2000 and I'm shooting digital in 2024. Wow. At least I've moved from the tape to the CD, to the flash disk, to now cloud. Okay? Now, AI is here. One, clients are not the clients we had before. Yes. The client is learning from the platform you're learning from. Okay? They have Adobe, they have CapCut, they have so many editing platforms. They are content creators. Most of them today are even better than the photographers we're talking about. Okay? When you give them the phones and they are shooting on a wedding, they produce that video, it circulates before your official photos are out. Yeah. And that is technology for you. Okay? Advantages are that clients get now content from different angles. Yeah, today when we're on weddings, we are, sometimes fighting with clients to get content. Okay? Everywhere someone is using a phone, because I don't know where they use that content, but it is theirs. Yeah. Because maybe it is a vote of no confidence that photographers don't share work, or work comes in after months, and we need hours now and now. Okay? And for us, a lesson, we used not to do same-day edits. Today it's a must to do a same-day edit.
Is it really a vote of no confidence or just a presentation of opportunity? Because most of those pictures and videos, majority don't take good pictures and videos.
Some of them are not shooting for the client.
Yes.
Exactly.
They're shooting for them. So sometimes you'll see someone record, and then they don't have space. Now they have to delete what they recorded earlier. So who are they recording for? Technology is putting us on bunkenke. Yes. You see how this person is doing that, and sometimes they don't. The most they do is share on their Snap or
WhatsApp
instantly.
status.
WhatsApp status. To hours there, because sometimes someone has 2 weddings to attend to. So they have to come to yours to church and then take a picture and share right away. So they can run to another reception. Yeah? They're not taking it for the client. They're taking it for themselves.
For their satisfaction, yes.
I am still shooting for the client. And now I know that a client has to post something right away.
Because all these people are posting.
So what do I do as a business owner? I make sure, now we have to give clients edits right away. So their official pictures can move around before the phone funny pictures can move around. But also, so the client has something. Events are, we enter some months and are too busy. You have a wedding on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah? So you want to give this client something before the next wedding. Yeah? We've seen people do reels on the same day, or at least the following day, someone has a reel to go around for the client. And that's all because of the pressure of that. Yeah? So it's a good thing for us. Yeah. A bit challenging sometimes, but I see it as a good thing. But also, James loves AI.
So do I. We're on the same team. Join us.
People say AI is going to come and do stuff, do all these things for you. I'm watching. I am of the view that it is going to come for me to use it to better my work.
Yeah, true.
So I'm happy that whatever they do, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. It is wisdom for me to make sure I read about stuff and I am aware of what is happening, so I can use it to better my work and compete. Exactly.
And I think I have that attitude as well. It's just giving you a competitive advantage, not taking away your opportunity.
Yeah, and like we said, for cameras, you used to buy a camera, keep it for 5 years. Today, opportunities for people hiring out cameras are now there, that you don't need to have 15 cameras if you're going to do Yeah, because in 2 years,
they're going to be outdated.
Yeah, outdated. Okay? Because every
that's
year.
something a new person needs
Yes,
to hear.
every year it's like a phone.
Yeah.
Okay? Yes, you can have your
You can
iPhone
imagine,
5 or 7.
You can imagine 3 years ago, someone who bought Canon Mark IVs 3 years ago, brand new, yeah? And then the following year, everyone was switching to the mirrorless, and now people have R6s. I don't know who is using those cameras. You know, if someone got them for hire, I don't know who is hiring them.
Okay, guys can be there selling them and no one is buying.
So how do you know which trend to go easy on and which trend to dive into? Because the trends, of course, for software change much more rapidly than for, you know, the equipment. So when you're making that decision for your company, how do you, where do you do the research and how do you make those decisions on what technology to bring forward?
Of course, online, you do research online, but again, go back and look at the client you're serving. Okay? What do they need? Maybe you can say with your client shooting with your DSLR and editing with your old software, and that you have said to take that path and okay? If you're working for celebrities and you know the celebrity needs this and this and that, then your research and what you're going to put in will be based on that. So sometimes the client can determine what to go. It will be very hard to find Jeff using a lens which is not a fixed lens because it won't work for him. Okay? You cannot use a 24, maybe 105 f4.
Muluzungu sema, I'm joking.
Yes. Or a lens which go f6. Like, he won't enjoy. Yeah. And sometimes actually it is, because photographs are about enjoying what you do. It's not about the money, enjoying what you do. For us, it is leisure. Okay?
Really?
Yes.
I feel like I prefer the word passion because some of those pictures don't look like leisure. Some pictures look so deeply felt that you can hear the photographer in the picture.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, passion, employment, just the same.
That's a good way to make those decisions because the focus is the client. I want to bring the focus now back to especially those who are starting out watching and, you know, taking notes. And we've had such a privileged conversation with both of you, and I want to thank you because this is really timeless knowledge. But how do you measure your success as a photographer and videographer in this industry, especially if you're one of those people who skyrocket and grow? Maybe your picture goes viral or you start getting, you know, those quick word of mouth, the clients coming in quickly, you're expanding quickly. Or maybe even things are slow, but you're progressing. How do you know that you're progressing? What are those KPIs, those measuring KPIs? Let's start with you, Jeff.
I like sometimes randomly out of the blue, I go to Twitter and just type Makula pictures. Sometimes not with my phone, yeah? And
so that the phone doesn't, the algorithm doesn't cheat.
So I'll see what people are saying. Nice. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, it feels nice for the brand to be thought of. Because we're growing every year, there's many things that are changing, the teams and all that. I see the work that the people I work with, the work that they did 2 years ago, and the work they're doing now, and I'm amazed. Yeah. Yeah. I see the growth even as human beings, that how they've grown.
Away from quality.
Away from actually the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have one of my boys I like to tease at Hakram. I have a picture of him when he joined us 3 or 4 years ago. He was a small, tiny little boy who was very shy and couldn't say anything. And now you be on set and you see him direct people and he's commanding respect and he's saying these things and he's dressed nice and he's smelling nice and I'm proud, you know? So I'm like, oh, if anything fails, at least I have this to show. And myself, I see how I used to see life and how I used to see clients, how I used to shoot for myself. But now I want to know what the client wants. I now want to shoot for the client. Now it is very important for me to take a picture of the mother whispering to her daughter or or a mother whispering to her sister when they're looking at their, their daughter. Then 4 years ago, my focus was get a nice, well-composed picture of the couple.
Yeah.
Now I love to see arrivals, people coming, yeah? After church, when everyone's doing the group pictures, and the mom is talking to her friends. Those are things that give me joy, to see the mother talking to their friends on her daughter's wedding. Many things I've grown about myself and the team members. But also, being there, and we're in what, June? June?
Yes, it's June.
And you have bookings for next year. Oh, wow, this is beautiful. And someone is booking a year in advance. Yeah? It gives me joy. I look at it, I'm like, oh, we're growing. It's beautiful. So yeah.
I like that. You talked a little about the growth in looking for different aspects. That's a bit of what you were speaking about on emotional intelligence, like that growing as part of the territory. That's amazing. I like to hear that.
Yeah, actually for me, I look at both business and then the social part. If I'm able to get someone without advertising, then I will know I'm growing, okay? Yeah. Accumulating, so look, first of all, if I need 50 weddings a year and I get 60, that is good enough, okay? That means the brand has grown, okay? Then mentorship. If there are other photographers who have worked with me and I see them having companies outside there and they are doing well, it means I'm growing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because you're mentoring, because growth you don't go alone.
Yes.
There are other people. And you're not competing basically because like we know the bread is big. Okay? You are all working and being able to support. Yeah. That is very important. Socially, in the industry, I've seen photographers marrying.
Yes.
They are now having kids, taking them to school, constructing houses, they have cars. I remember when we were starting photographies in I-2000, it was different. We were put on pickups, film on the pickup. You know, life was different.
Rough struggle.
Yeah, we cannot look at that as something which is not to do with development. That is development, okay? Yeah, we've seen photographers doing out of kwanjulas and weddings, okay? And then the social capital we have accumulated. You look at the people around you, how many people can invite you to attend a wedding? Wow. Not as a photographer, but as a guest or any other event, okay? Yeah, because your network is your net worth. Yeah. So growth, for us, we are looking at it from all angles and also being able to open up branches, okay? And also having other streams of income. Yeah, that you know, like me, I'm a photographer, I'm a farmer, I'm now into real estate. So that means growth is there. Yes. Yeah. I'm also looking at it from that angle.
That's beautiful growth. And usually, we, like you said, we sometimes forget that social aspect, but what we don't recognize is a well put together individual in society supports the growth of the entire nation. So we are literally contributing to the growth of the nation.
Yep.
It's wonderful.
We need a ministry.
We need a ministry.
Yeah, and an MP.
First wait for sports to give education, then you can ask for your own ministry.
The MP.
Thank you so much for being here today. I am very honored. Jeffery Ssemakula from Makula Pictures, Mr. James Lubinga, all the way from Paramount Images. Sure. It has been my pressure and pleasure. I'm very, very honored. All the information that you've gotten today will be online, so you can watch this video over and over. This is wisdom, so don't take it for granted. And we'll continue the conversation in the comments. My name is Maritza. Thank you for watching the Film Hackers Talk Show.